What's up, 31 fam? How you doing? Welcome back to Horror 31 with your punk rock dad. Thank you for joining me today. I got a special guest, my boy Steven Farshid, Minor Keys Comics on Instagram. This is a family friend. This is like the homie right here. If you're familiar with this, my stuff at all, you've seen him on other videos with me, man. This is my dog right here. So we're gonna bring you guys, instead of just doing a traditional movie review, we're gonna just chit chat a little bit about a couple of movies. We're gonna do two separate videos for you, so you don't have to worry about it being super long. We're gonna talk about the Howling at first. Yeah. So what's up, Steven? What's going down?
Man, what's going on, man? It's always a pleasure to see you. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And let me start off right off the bat by saying congratulations to 10,000 followers. Literally nobody thought you could get here, but here you are.
Facts, sir. Yeah, 10,000 subscribers. Now, this is Horror 31. We got about 250 subscribers on this channel right now. But my primary channel where I started all this stuff at, we hit 10,000 today, or yesterday actually, and it's pretty amazing, man. I got lofty goals, and the fact that I'm meeting them is pretty amazing.
Well, you're beating them too. You had a timeline that was definitely not this quickly. So
no, it wasn't. I was trying to hit 5,000 by summertime.
Yeah.
And it's May 25th, and I just hit 10K. And
I guess people like you for whatever reason, you know?
You know what it is? It's these two fingers right here. People seem drawn to that.
That's why I fell in love with you.
Yeah. Dude, I get all kinds of hate from people too, though. It's kind of amazing. Like, the hate stuff is almost as fun as the non-hate stuff.
Sure.
People some lady was like, so what? You're just an asshole? And I was like, well, I'm an asshole to assholes. And she's like, well, I'm staying far away from this shithole. And I was like, we can still be friends. And she's like, no, we can't. And I was like, then why are we still talking? And she's like, I don't know. And I was like, well, I love you. And then she's like, shut up. You're being immature. And I was like, yeah. I was like,
that's it.
Aren't you like 40? I was like, yeah.
Yeah.
How old do I act? And she's like, 5. And I'm like, yay. Like, I mean, what am I supposed to say to that? Like,
so you guys are best friends now, or what?
Fucking right, dude. Yeah, we're pen pals.
I tell this story all the time, but the first time I met you, I walked into your shop and I asked you if you had a certain title, and you said, nah, dog, I don't carry that stupid shit here. First thing you ever said to me, and I fell in love, man.
Dude, you want to hear something crazy? I just sold every comic book that I own. I own 0 comics.
What happened?
I sold them all because I didn't want them anymore. I sold all my eBay inventory. I'm out of comic books.
Wow.
Yep.
So your shop, that you still have a little spot, right?
Oh yeah, but no comics.
No comics in there. It's
Movies,
all your hard media.
Yeah, movies, vinyl, and video games. Now here's the thing. You know me. I like money. I like to move and make
Sure.
moves and do stuff. So if somebody offers me a comic collection, I'm gonna still buy it.
Yeah, of course.
I just don't
Somebody walks in with
stress having to do it anymore, and I got over 10K for it, so I can't complain.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so that's why I'm doing so well right now, because I don't have the financial stress I used to have.
Nice. I'm surprised you didn't call your homie.
Well, honestly, I didn't. It just kind of happened, man. It wasn't like planned. It was like somebody said, "Hey, what would you take for all this?" And I was like, I just threw out a number, and the dude was like, "Okay," and I was like,
"Oh,
what do you mean okay?" And he's like, "Well, I got cash in the car."
Jesus.
And I was like, "You don't have that kind of cash?" And he's like, "I do."
He's like, "Watch me."
He just came in, was like, blah 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 blah, and then I came home and paid rent for 2 months. I was like, yeah, dude, it was amazing. So,
wow. How many comics was it?
A lot.
20, 30 long boxes?
Probably closer to 20, 25. But it was in but a lot of it was, dude, I tell you what, there was probably 3 long boxes of like what he bought, and the rest of it was like bulk stuff where he could make some money back.
Sure.
I left him some meat on the bone, but I did it intentionally. I don't, you know me, man. I'm not attached to the dollar of everything. I make my money, and when my bills are paid, I'm happy. I don't need extra money very often. So, but I started doing I'm gonna start doing cards again, not real deep, but I did a unboxing for some UFC cards, and then check this out, dude. So I got to my second box of cards, and I was like, man, it would be cool if I opened a Conor McGregor card, and then literally I opened the pack, and there was a very nice, expensive Conor McGregor card in there.
Really?
And I was like, well, okay. And so I'm just going to start moving these on eBay because it's smaller, it takes up less space.
Sure.
I know a lot about the sport. It doesn't really.
And that's your boy, right? Conor McGregor's your boy, right?
No, I don't know that fool. That dude is famous. That's my homie. I love that
No, I'm
guy.
saying, but you like it.
Yeah, I love Conor McGregor,
Yeah.
dude. I mean, my last name is Patty. My mom's maiden name is Flanagan, bro. I'm Irish.
Yeah.
Irish. But
that dude, up and coming dude, is from my wife's hometown, Lafayette, Louisiana.
Oh,
What's his name, like Poirier or something?
He's been around for a hot minute, man. I got one of his cards too.
Yeah, he does a lot for Lafayette, Louisiana, so that's cool.
He's a good dude. But no, check this out. I'll tell you one little story real quick. So anyways, I'm gonna do that just kind of for fun, but my priority at this point is YouTube, and I think that's where it's gonna stay. I don't even work at the store except one day a week now, so you know,
that's nice, man.
Yeah, I go drop off product and price things, and then I go home. I'll check on Daryl if he needs help. I'll go up there and see him, help him out. But I don't have to be there. Which is
nice. So you got somebody running the place?
Yeah.
Oh, that's good.
No, dude, hashtag goals, bro. I've been hitting goals like crazy this year.
Nice,
2021's been. I got COVID and I got really, really sick for a while. Yeah. That was scary. But other than that, man, 2021's been amazing.
That's awesome, man. I wish you many, many years of success, and despite all the bullshit and the persona you put off, you got a heart of gold, and you deserve all the good things, man. So
I appreciate it. I have sure. I don't know if you know what I'm doing right now, but on my YouTube channel, I've been helping a lot of addicts, a lot.
Yes, I do know.
Bro, every day I'm talking to 15, 20 new people. And,
wow, so they're actually reaching out.
Yeah, and then they're always shocked when I talk back to them. And I'm like, why would you be surprised? Why would I say that? So apparently there's a lot of YouTubers out there that say, yeah, hit me up, I'll talk to you, and then they just don't. And I just think that's so fucking garbage, dude. That's so trash to me, dude.
Yeah, I don't know what's the point. You know what I mean?
Bro, to seem like you're cool and to seem like you're nice to get attention and get followers, I guess, I would rather have 10,000 people that liked me and knew I was there for them than 100,000 that didn't care about me and that I didn't care about. It doesn't make any sense. I want quality over quantity. But
well, you got me, and I'm both.
Fucking right. So check this out. One quick little thing. It's kind of a horror story in itself. You're not gonna believe what happened to me yesterday, bro. So I woke up and I'm doing my job, just working, man, doing things on the computer and just getting ready for the day. And this guy messages me and he's like, hey man, thanks for everything that you do. You've been a bright spot in my day for a while now. He's like, but I don't have anybody to talk to. I don't have any friends or family that I can tell this to, but I gotta tell somebody. He's like, I'm gonna kill myself today.
Oh.
And I was like, and then he's like, but keep doing what you're doing because you're helping thousands of people and you don't even realize it. And I read it 5 times and I was like, there's no way this is real. So I let Carissa read it and she's like, what? And then I started panicking, dude. So I got on the computer. Then I was crying, bro. I was like, I called 2 different suicide prevention lines. I called Instagram. I tried to get anybody. Instagram would not take a phone call. I sent him as much information as I could, and I have heard nothing back. Yeah, dude. Bro, it was the craziest thing.
Oh man, that's awful.
And well, the thing is that I'm not taking responsibility for that. It wasn't my fault. If anything, I probably helped him.
So why did he reach out to you, dude?
Honestly, probably because he felt like I would be understanding, dude. I've been to that point. I've been to where, dude, I tried things, man. I took, bro, people wouldn't believe the amount of drugs that I took at one time. They would go, yeah, right, sure you did. They just wouldn't believe it. So I don't even tell people because they just wouldn't believe it. And I think that maybe he just felt comfortable, and you have to tell somebody when you're feeling that way.
Yeah, I guess so.
Maybe that was his note that he left. It was talking to me instead,
Well, maybe it's not. Maybe it's something else. Maybe he got some last minute help. I don't know.
Well, he straight up said he was like, man, I'm sorry for dumping this on you. He's like, I just don't have anybody else to tell. And he's like, but he's like, dude, you're doing good. And it was the craziest feeling, man. It kind of broke me for a few hours, bro. I was in here, I was in a mess.
Sure. I got a little podcast that I do, and nobody reaches out to me. And
you might
when I hear stuff like that. What's up?
I said, thank your lucky stars sometimes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, when I hear stuff like that, I'm thankful. Yeah,
without the bitter, the sweet wouldn't be so good. So unfortunately, I'll have to just take it like my medicine and just sack up. And it is what it is, man. I hope the person's okay. If I didn't care, I wouldn't say I did. And if they see this at some point and they want to reach out and talk to me, I would rather them not have done it. You don't have to be embarrassed. Sometimes you have a shit day and sometimes you have a shit life. And yeah, I understand. So I don't judge. People think I judge. I don't, dude. I don't care. I'm silly a lot, but I don't judge. But
no, you're probably the least judgmental person I've ever met in my life.
It doesn't do you any good, man. I've had so many dumb things that I've done that if I judged you, boy, could you find some stuff on me, Yeah. What good does that do me to judge people? I'm far from perfect, but good grief, man, judging somebody is so dumb. It's so
I
unnecessary.
mean, you judge me on my taste and comic
well,
books,
yeah,
but other
I mean,
than that,
only on your taste, your looks, your hair, your
right.
you
But
know,
besides that,
yeah,
you're not judgmental.
the
at
car
all.
you drive, the house you live in, you don't have enough
Oof.
money, you look poor. But other than that,
You keep your opinions to yourself, and I appreciate that.
dude. Okay, so let's talk about the Howling, dude. Let's talk some horror movies. Sorry for the long intro, folks, but I don't get to talk to him much, and
Right.
this is more of a hangout and a podcast than it is just a movie review, which I think you've probably gotten that by now.
Well, you could probably edit all that shit out anyway, right?
Fuck no, don't edit this stuff out. This is the fun stuff. This is the meat, man. People get to know us like this. This is how you get people to actually give a shit about you. They get to find out who you really are.
Dude, I should have worn my fun stuff shirt. If it fit me anymore, I would probably have worn it.
Oh, dude. Some young lady sends me a picture, right? As a matter of fact, let me shout out her name real quick because I felt so dumb at first. So I don't get a lot of. Let's see here.
You don't get a lot of random pictures from women?
I'm an old man, right? And I'm happily
Right.
married. And most people know that, right? So I get
Yeah.
this message from somebody on my Instagram. I don't want to say her name or anything like that, but cute girl, right? But I was
Right.
like, why did she send me a picture? Like I talk about my wife does my podcast with me,
Right, like
and then it took me a minute. It took me like 2 full minutes to realize that she was sending me a picture of her wearing my gear.
nice.
Yeah,
Nice.
I was like, I felt so dumb, bro. I felt so
I mean, you were focused on other things. That's fine.
And but yeah, I'm gonna make a post thanking her later, man. She seems like a cool person. Anyways, so we watched The Howling together, one of 2 movies that we picked out to watch. Since we
Hold on. You said we picked out. I want to be
told me
clear.
to pick out 2 movies, and I did. So we did.
You picked out 2 movies.
You told me to pick out 2 movies.
I did.
Don't skate like you didn't do that, dude. You tell me to pick some movies out, you're gonna get some gems, sir.
Yeah. Hey, but nothing is like the WURP,
WNUF. I was just talking about that today,
the Halloween special.
bro. Best movie of the year.
It was an instant classic. I'll give you that.
So we don't live in the same state. For anybody that doesn't know this, he moved. He used to live down here in Houston, and he moved. Where you at in Tennessee?
Yeah, Chattanooga, Tennessee.
Chattanooga. So every once in a while, probably once or twice a year, we get to do this.
Yeah.
And we'll just come up with some movies we're gonna watch, because he doesn't really watch much horror, and that's like my favorite shit. So he was like, "Yo, throw me some." This all started because he just goes, "Throw me some movies to watch, and we'll talk about them." And then we did it, and it was a blast. So that's like kind of what we do now. And he's like, "Yeah, pick out 2 movies." So I kind of scrolled through Shudder, and I was like, "Here's some ideas." And I said, "Let's do The Howling and Texas Chainsaw 2." And he was like, "All right, cool.
All right.
Let's do it." And so that's what we
Let's do it.
watched. So we're talking about The Howling first. So The Howling came out in 1981. Actually, it came out right about my birthday time in 81, which I guess that doesn't make sense because I wasn't born yet. I was born in 82. So
Man,
never
you're
mind.
young.
Sort of. My knees don't agree with that.
You're not even 40, bro.
Do what?
You're not even 40.
In a few months I will be. Anyways, this fool right here. I feel so all my audience on my other channel is like 17, bro. So I feel hella old. I get told I wish you were my dad at least twice a day. I swear.
Oh
I'm not
God.
joking. Although I take that as a compliment. I wish I was their dad too, because that means I'd be fucking more. No, I'm playing.
Yeah, and then your answer is like, how do you know I'm not? You know what I'm saying?
Right? Your daddy was the milkman, son. Go ask your mom. I'm like, what's your mom look like? 5'2", brown hair, glasses. All right, I'm in.
Oh yeah, I know her.
My wife's like shaking her head, probably like this fucking idiot.
Yeah.
So
Man, how's she doing, real quick? How's
She's
his family?
good. She's good.
Yeah.
She's looking for work right now. But
Yeah.
I got some money, so we're not hurting as bad as we could be.
Nice.
We're doing well.
Very
Parker,
nice.
you should see how big the baby is, bro.
Oh
He's huge, dude. He's almost crawling. He's only 7 months old.
wow.
He's a big kid, man.
You gotta send me some pictures.
I absolutely will. I'll send you a couple tonight. He's an awesome kid, man. All right, so The Howling, like I said, it came out in 81. It came out around the time of American Werewolf in London, and it was like its little redheaded stepbrother. It was like
Very redheaded.
So I'll go ahead and say it like this. I personally prefer The Howling over American Werewolf in London. It's not because I think it's a better film. I just enjoy it more. It's kind of like I would rather watch Terrifier than, say, The Exorcist. People would tell me I'm crazy because The Exorcist is a better movie. Okay, maybe to you it is, but to me, I don't enjoy it as much. So that's why I wanted to watch this with him, because I knew that this is like the more playful movie out of the two. Like out of the two big werewolf movies, this is still a pretty important werewolf movie. It's still probably in the top 5 best ones. Honestly, it might be number 2 because it is better than most.
Really? Is that like an objectively opinion that this is a pretty high ranking werewolf movie?
I would say it's objectively top 5.
Okay.
For sure. I can't think of 3 more that I think is better than The Howling. I think the American Werewolf in London is so fantastic, and the practical effects were so good.
Yeah.
That you really just kind of, it's like making another, trying to make something like The Thing. You're not going to beat that movie.
Right.
It's just never happening. You can make, like, The Void came out. The Void's amazing. It's not The Thing, dude. It's just not. Sure. Now, I personally love The Void. Let's not get it twisted. But anyway, so this is the way our talks go, folks. We just talk. You may get some stuff about a movie. You may not.
Yeah, eventually, maybe.
Right. So I'm going to read the synopsis real quick about this movie because some people may not have seen it because it came out in 81. A lot of folks that are, let's say, born in the 90s or something may not care about 80s movies yet. I know Josh is 10 years younger than me almost, right? There's a lot of stuff from the 90s he's never watched because he just wasn't interested in it. I'm positive he's seen The Howling. But it says, okay, in Los Angeles, television journalist Karen White is traumatized in the course of aiding the police in their arrest of a serial murderer. Her doctor recommends that she attend an isolated psychiatric retreat led by Dr. George Wagner. But while Karen is undergoing therapy, her colleague Chris investigates the bizarre circumstances surrounding her shock. When his work leads him to suspect the supernatural, he begins to fear for Karen's life. So basically what they're telling you is, like, the movie starts out at the very beginning and they're in the city, right? It quickly goes to, like, outside the city at a retreat, and you're finding out that, like, werewolves. I don't know, man. It's a weird movie, bro. I don't know.
Well, I would say that this movie, like I said, so coming at this fresh and never seen this before, this movie is all over the place. This movie doesn't really know what it is. It's a werewolf movie for sure. That's what it is. But it's a cult movie. Yeah. It's a movie about serial killers for some reason. It's a movie about rape fantasies. You know what I mean? There is so much, and then really, and it's funny, until you read the synopsis there, I didn't even realize that, like, there was a star and a focal point of the movie for the first half, and it shifts in the second half. And I don't even know if they were aware that they did that. Like, it went from the reporter being the focal point, and then it ended up being that these friend journalists of them were the focal point. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't think it was intentional. I think that was a post-production thing, to be honest.
Yeah, I just think that
I don't know that for sure, but that's what it felt like. It felt like it was just kind of accidental, and that's how it turned out.
It definitely seemed like they just had just a broad idea of something and just kept saying, "Oh, what if we do this next, or what if we do that next?" And it just developed into what it was.
A lot of times in these movies, like, and I don't know this about this movie. It's just I've heard this a lot of times where a movie will have, like, let's use Justice League as an example. They had Snyder making that movie, and then a tragedy happens, and then what's his name?
Whedon.
Joss Whedon took over, and the movie turned into something else.
Yeah.
Right? I don't know. I'm not gonna comment on whether it was good or not. I think we all can kind of agree that it wasn't. But I say I'm not gonna comment on it, and then I do. That's how I roll.
That is how you go. For sure.
Soggy toast, sir. So I think that this is probably an example of something like that. I think that this movie probably had some production changes or something happened in it. I don't know, but that's what it felt like. Now that when you bring that up, I didn't even think about that.
Right.
I just watched it and it was just The Howling to me. But I'm looking at it from your vantage point and I see that, it did shift focal points a little bit.
Right.
Dude, what about, what's his name? Bill? The guy with the sandy hair and the mustache?
Oh.
Dude, that guy fucks, bro.
Dude, the best line in the movie was when he was next to the fire, next to that hot, like, lady.
The brown haired chick with the...
Yeah, the one that, like, survives at the end.
Yeah.
He said, "Oh, I'm looking for my wife," and she goes, "Why?" I'm like, yeah, good question.
That guy might be the manliest man that I've ever seen.
He had the shiny zip up jacket, the handlebar mustache, the blonde sandy hair.
When you see this video, just understand that right now there's going to be pictures of him on the screen. I've already made the memes. They're already made. Ready to go.
Incredible. Yeah, man. This movie. So I do want to say one thing right off the bat before I forget. I'm a big nerd. So like I mentioned a podcast that I do a Star Trek podcast. And one of my favorite Star Trek series is Voyager. And on Voyager, there's a character that's a doctor, and he's played by Robert Picardo. And he's one of the best characters in the Star Trek universe, in my opinion.
Okay.
He is Eddie, the serial killer.
Oh, really?
And honestly, I believe that performance is the standout performance of the movie. The scene where he confronts her, like you remember, they think he's dead. Obviously, the police kill him, and then he comes back later and he's a werewolf. That obviously that 20-minute long transition scene, which apparently is famous. I looked it up.
Yes, it is. It's very famous.
Where she has plenty of time to get away. I mean, plenty of time to get in her car, smoke a cigarette, whatever. I mean, this dude takes 20 minutes to transform.
They've always got time to get out of the way. They just never do.
Holy shit. I mean, this dude takes forever to transform, and you see every little hair growing out of his face, which is pretty awesome. The aesthetics of the werewolf was amazing.
Oh, bro, no. Dude, it's different than American Werewolf, but it's, in my opinion, just as cool looking.
It was imposing. It looked like it was 10 feet tall at certain points.
The legs looked like actual dog legs, dude. It was wild.
The legs were small, but the head was big, and it was scary.
It looked terrifying.
If I saw that prop, like in a corner, I would be scared of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Just an inanimate object I'd be scared of.
Dude, it's a very good werewolf, man. The movie is, dude, it's a cheeky movie, man. It's more B movie than it is anything, and that's probably why I like it so much, because I really love quote unquote bad movies. I thoroughly enjoy them, man. Wolf Cop is one of my favorite things I've ever watched.
I've actually never seen it.
Oh my god, we might have
or Velocipaster.
Oh, dude, what are you doing to me, man?
But I did see Psycho Gorman.
Ah,
yeah.
I'll bathe in your blood.
that was a good movie.
Dude, that movie's amazing.
Yeah, it was a good movie.
Yeah, man. Like, I don't know, dude. You know what it is, dude? I'm really tired today. I'm not very energetic. Normally, I'm acting a fool, but
yeah,
I don't know, dude. The Howling is. Honestly, after I watched it, I kind of regretted bringing it up to be one of the movies that we watched. Not because of anything other than like, I remembered it being more ridiculous than it actually was. So when I watched it, I was like, oh, it was a better movie than I remembered it being.
I mean, you got Slim Pickens as the sheriff, which is amazing. Like, if I had to make a fantasy city where I lived in, Slim Pickens would be my sheriff. Like,
that's pretty amazing.
I fucking love. I mean, from Blazing Saddles.
Yes.
You know, from Dr. Strangelove when he rides the nuclear bomb straight down.
I've actually never seen that movie.
Dude, that's a fantastic movie. I love Peter Sellers. I know he was a piece of shit, but I love Peter Sellers as an actor. He was amazing. But he, the very final scene, spoiler, the nuclear bomb like unloads, and Slim Pickens is riding it with a cowboy hat just down as it blows up. So
that's amazing.
Yeah, and the sex scene with the werewolves.
Oh yeah,
by the fire I thought that was good. I mean,
dude,
that
honestly,
was some good 80s
movie,
shit.
It has these like really long, deep valleys, but then it comes up with these nice peaks, and it's got like a lot of stuff in the movie that's better than the rest. I don't know how to say it. It's just there's these parts of the movie that are just, they stand out.
So the best way for me to describe this movie, as far as it had a lot of things going for it. I think that the movie is weighed down mainly by the two protagonists. I think the lady, the main female, is her performance. I think her performance was the weakest.
Oh, really?
And I absolutely do. And I think that even the guy that quote unquote saves the day at the end was weak. You know, I think that all the best characters were in the cult or You know, the serial killer, like I said, is the best character in the whole movie.
So here's the thing, dude. With movies back in 1981, here's an issue that I have with old movies. In 2021, most of the people that make a movie that's going to be brutal have the gall and the nuts to make a movie where maybe it doesn't end on a positive note.
Sure.
Back in 81, that's not how things were done, man. They said, no, the good guy wins. So when you have a movie like this, when the like witch chick, the werewolf chick that was all in black leather, she should have been the one that had the biggest role, or she should have come into it and been the biggest part. I don't think that she was particularly. At first, I thought she was really good looking, but the more I looked at her, the more I just didn't think that was the case. But she was interesting. She was interesting looking. She had an interesting costume. She had
there was no focal point on the antagonist. There was no. You didn't know who the main villain was.
I think the whole bad group should have had more. They should have picked less people, and they should it should have been more focused. They should have had. Well, we got 7 people that we're looking at and talking to. Yeah. Well, let's whittle it down to 3, and then out of those 3, let's have one that really stands out, and then let's let that bad person make it all the way to the end. And if they don't make it all the way out of the movie, okay, whatever. But they make it most of the way, and it gives something for the people that like the bad guys to hang their hat on. Because, dude, look what's coming out in a few months, dude. Venom. That's a bad guy movie. People like Spawn. I'm not watching Venom, by the way. I'm boycotting that garbage.
Did you watch the trailer? Did you see the trailer?
Cool. And then I found out it was PG-13, and I was like, nope, I'm out.
I thought Woody Harrelson looked pretty good. I think they did some good jobs to change him, but that whole opening scene with Venom making breakfast with the Cookie Monster voice, it's a bold choice. Let's put it that way. It's a bold choice.
I didn't think it was a Cookie Monster voice, but now I do. Thank you.
Oh, it was definitely Cookie. Let me get some bacon and some eggs and some coffee. Like, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Dude, go watch it again. Tell me you don't.
Well, now I'm gonna have to watch it again. Thinking of that.
Let's just pause and play it right now.
I like that he's already gonna be Venom when the movie starts. Other than that, 13, and I think I'm out, dude. I can't imagine. They got my money once. They're not getting it again, dude. I'm not gonna do that again and watch a PG-13 movie that should 150% be rated R. Deadpool came out at PG-13, and I wasn't watching it, bro. I ain't doing it. Ain't doing it. It's
you know what's funny, and the next movie we're going to talk about does the same exact thing. It takes a premise and then it just really leans into the slapstick comedy, and that's the same thing happened with Venom, the first Venom. It came out, people watched it, and they're like, "Man, that was garbage," and then they thought about it, and they're like, "Actually, this shit was pretty fucking hilarious. Like, they did a great job with it." And then the second one, they're like, "Fuck it, we're just going to lean all the way into the cheese." And that's what happened in Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2. Like,
well, let's not even talk about that yet, because I got a whole. Did you watch the first one?
I did not.
That's where you fucked up.
But I know what was going on. So
okay, because that one is going to be a much, I think, better conversation. Unfortunately, the Howling just I almost sent you a message saying, hey, let's watch something else too, just because
I'm glad I watched it. I'm glad I watched it.
Do what?
I'm glad I watched it. I really am.
I'm glad you watched it, and I'm glad we're talking about it. I just think that the movie, it's not as exciting, and it certainly wasn't as. In my brain, when I said The Howling, I was thinking it was going to be much more like Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2, and I've seen the movie. I just have a terrible memory, and so I was comparing it to American Werewolf in London, which is like a more serious movie, and it's more of a acclaimed movie, right? And so I was like, oh yeah, this is nothing like that. Oh, it matches with Texas Chainsaw 2 really well. And I just wasn't correct. It was my own fault. It is what it is, man. Live and learn. We do these things as often as we can. We'll have another one hopefully in the near future. But
well, I tell you what though, real quick, I honestly did respect the ending of this movie. I think that it was a good choice for her to transition live on TV.
I like the ending of the movie.
I thought that was good. I liked how they showed a scene of people watching it and thinking it was fake, which is kind of weird because that's like a commentary of like what happens today. Like every time news breaks, everybody's like, "Oh, that's not real, that's fake," and it's like you just watch the werewolf transform on TV during a live broadcast, and you don't even believe it. And then the last scene where there's like, "How do you want your burger cooked?" And like, of course, I screamed out "rare" before she even said it.
Right?
Then she says "rare," the credits just roll, and he's still making the burger. Like, what the fuck?
One thing that we talked about was that the movie lacks direction, right?
Definitely.
So I think there was a beginning point, and I think there was a destination, and I believe they got there, but they went the long way. They didn't take the straight path. They went all over the place to get there, and I think that makes it a much more tolerable movie, to be honest. I think the ending being as good as it was makes it a more tolerable movie. Because I tell you, if the ending would have been like just a cheeseball ending, I would have been like, the whole movie's a waste. I probably wouldn't even like the movie. I own the movie. I've watched it many times. So for anybody out there who's not really familiar with me at all, I had a head injury when I was younger, and my memory is legitimately bad, and it's bad enough to where it like affects my daily life. And so I can watch a movie. If I wait 6, 7, 8 months, I can watch it again almost completely fresh. That's
people would pay for that.
Do what?
People would pay for that ability.
Sure, they can have that ability, man, because I tell you what, it fucks up many, many things in my day. But that's one perk that I do enjoy, is that that's why I own so many movies, because I can watch them multiple times, and to me, it's fresh. Like, Josh probably rolls his eyes when I talk about watching so-and-so again. He's like, really, again? I'm like, bro, to me, it's I only can remember 20% of it. And, you know, like, I watched, I watched something recently where I legitimately forgot all of it, and then I realized that I had watched it probably 7 or 8 times, and I'd forgotten the whole movie.
I've done that before, but only from watching it once.
Yeah, a lot of my movies that I've seen just once, it's really great because I can watch it a second time, and it really is like watching it for the first time. I get the same feeling at the end. All the reveals, I go, oh yes. Wow.
So you can watch Usual Suspects right now and still get that surprise ending?
Unfortunately, not. I've watched that movie probably 100 times.
Me too. You know, I real quickly, I want to touch on something that you touched on about the Howling. Talking about the beginning and the end. I agree with you 100%. I think that I don't know where this whole cult retreat came from, but if the beginning scene was her getting harassed by the serial killer and then him getting killed and then him resurfacing as a werewolf in the city, and the whole movie just followed this path of this one single serial killer werewolf, you know what I mean? And then the ending is what it is. I just don't understand what was the point of this family or commune of werewolves.
So, unless I'm misunderstanding it, the point is that guy that was in the city was part of that clan.
Yeah.
When she went to her doctor and was experiencing some mental stuff, he saw that as an opportunity to just recruit another werewolf. Sure. That's where the cult comes into play. They just didn't explain it very well.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I just don't know if any of that was necessary. I think you could have told a much more compelling story with a single werewolf in the city. I mean, listen to me. I'm some fat dude sitting on my ass telling somebody who actually has a classic horror movie how to have done it better. Like, the arrogance on this fucking guy. You know what I mean? What's wrong with me?
I mean, I do this for a living now, so yeah. It's awesome. But I mean, in all fairness, dude. It was unnecessary, but I mean, how many movies do we watch regularly that have massively unnecessary storylines? And we're just like, I mean, in all fairness, dude, look at the MCU. 90% of it's unnecessary. Sure.
But it's 23 movies to get from this one point to this last point. So,
yeah, and if you think about what all happened, you're like, yeah, none of it was memorable except the beginning and the end, just like the Howling. True. But we still go watch them, and it's all for entertainment, and nothing's perfect, especially in '81, man. They were having a hard time doing anything fun back then.
Yeah.
But I like the movie quite a bit, man. I enjoyed it enough to own it, and I'll revisit it again in the future. I tell you what, I watch it more frequently than I do American Werewolf in London, and American Werewolf in London is widely considered the best werewolf movie of all time.
Yeah. And I've only seen it once myself.
I wouldn't even argue it. It's a great movie, but it's longer. It's more focused, so it's more boring. There's less, dude. At least with the Howling, there's shit happening the whole time, dude. Something's always going on. It may not make a lot of sense, but it's definitely keeping your attention. I was up very late watching it, and I didn't miss a freaking beat, dude. I was just like, oh yeah, and I've seen it multiple times, and I don't remember all of it all the time, but I have a pretty good recollection of the Howling, so I didn't, I could have probably not even watched it and still talked to you about it.
Yeah. I mean, don't get me wrong. It was kind of a mess. And I think there was some poor acting.
Yeah.
But honestly, dude, like, it was an enjoyable experience. Like, no means that I ever be like, oh god, this is stupid, I want to turn it off. No, I wanted to see where the story went. I really did like the practical effects of the arm getting chopped off and then transitioning back to a human hand.
Dude, how cool was that? I really liked
that. That was very well done.
Yeah, I like 1981.
that
My wife watched it. Oh, you know what's cool about my memory being so messed up is that when I do watch these movies and I'm watching them for like the first time again, oftentimes I'll start recalling stuff in the movies during the movie. But lately, my wife has really been awesome about watching these movies with me because she's never watched horror movies. She's watched less than you have by far.
Really?
Dude, she's never watched horror movies until a couple of months ago, bro. Ever. And
wow,
so,
because I really haven't watched many at all.
Dude, last night she watched Scream for the first time. It was so cool to be able to watch her watch that movie.
Yeah.
And we're gonna do oh frick, dude, what were we gonna do? There's another one that's like a classic that she's gonna watch with me soon. That she watched Saw with me the other night.
Mm-hmm.
That one blew her mind. Saw.
Dude, my wife just asked me. She loves the movies. She's like, "Can we please watch all the Saws before we watch this new one?" I've never seen them.
Do not watch the new Saw.
I've heard a lot of bad things about it.
Bro, go watch my review and you'll crack up, bro. That movie, I was so mad, dude.
I've heard a lot of bad things.
I really wanted that movie to come out. I love Samuel L. Jackson. I respect and like Chris Rock.
Why would both of those people be in that movie if it wasn't going to be good? I don't understand that. Why would they sign up to? You got to still have respect for yourself. Both of those people are not dying for a paycheck.
No, but I imagine they got a lot of money for what they did. Dude, at a certain point, well, not only that, but I think Chris Rock tried. I just think he failed. And there's nothing wrong with that. I failed many times in my life. But at this point, I don't have to say I liked it that he failed, but he did. He missed the mark, man.
Did he write it and direct it?
He produced some of it, but he was the star of it. And
and you didn't like his performance at all either?
No, okay, so here's my thing with Chris Rock in that movie is like, okay, when you think Chris Rock, you think funny, you think fairly hyperactive, and you think high-pitched, kind of like
lots of energy, lots of facial expressions, lots of energy. Sure.
He knew that going in, and I think that he was worried that people didn't want to see that of him. They wanted to see what he could do with a different. They wanted to see him do a Jim Carrey or any of the other comedic actors that go out and really do something amazing with a dramatic role, right? And then he overcompensated for his tone of voice. Dude, none of the jokes were funny. He was constantly had this weird look on his face, like he didn't want to be there. I understand he's supposed to be kind of a miserable prick in the movie, right? But you don't need to be looking like you're a miserable prick trying to make a movie. That's what it looked like he did. And I don't think it was because he didn't want to be there. I think he just isn't that kind of an actor, and he wasn't going to be good at it.
Yeah, I liked him in Fargo, the latest Fargo season. He did a great job, and that was more.
Maybe that gave him the confidence to try this, but it's unfortunate because he missed the mark. And I still would, dude. If he did another one, I would probably go watch it. Okay, because I'm a horror fan. Because I also think that he probably is going to learn a lot from this, because he got a lot of shit, dude. People did not like this movie, and for the right reasons, man. I know a lot of, dude. How many objectively bad movies do I like?
Oh, almost all of them.
Thank you. Right? This movie is one of those kind of movies that I'm like, okay, it wasn't meant to be anything except very good.
Right.
Bad. I did. Now, in 5 years, will I watch it out of like a joke? Probably. Because it's not a good movie. I would watch it with my friends to go, did you see how fucking terrible that was? That's it, man. It's not good. But I mean, if you want to go check it out on your own time because you want to find out for yourself, who knows, dude?
Yeah.
There are some people that like it. I've seen people that liked it. I just didn't agree with them.
Well, you recommended that Danzig movie to me. So you don't like good good movies. You like bad movies.
Watch that?
No, I didn't watch that shit. I saw your review. That's all I needed to see.
Bro.
Guaranteed your review was 10 times, 30 times more entertaining than that fucking piece of shit.
Dude, that is the absolute worst movie that I've ever seen.
Jesus.
Yeah, folks.
That's a bold statement.
Danzig, the biggest piece of shit movie in the entire world.
What's it called?
Veronica. Dude, that guy's such a pompous ass, dude. Fuck him.
Yeah. Well, when you're in contention for Oscar nominations, you can be a little cocky.
Well, that guy's been punched in the face and knocked out by a friend of mine. So
really?
Yes. There's video on YouTube. Danny Northside King's son. I say friend very loosely. It's an acquaintance. I knew him a little bit a long time ago.
Sure. Yeah, that's fine. You can say friend. Everybody knows, you're a friendly guy.
Fucking right. All right. So, okay. Let's wrap up the Howling talk and let's move on. Before we do that, what if you had to grade this movie? Like, just I grade my movies a little different. I don't grade them objectively. I grade them how do I feel about the movie. So like, look at it from that point of view. If you had to give it a grade, let's say on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you drop on it?
I would have to give it, taking into consideration the time, you know, the budget, which I didn't look up, but it can't be too much.
1.5.
1.5
million. Yeah.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say $1.5. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, $1.50. You're like that explains a lot.
Yeah, that's a lot higher than I thought. I would say that if it wasn't for the poor acting performances by the leads, it would have been higher. But as of right now, I'm probably going right in the solid 5.5 to 6 range.
Okay. Well, I set you up for a joke and you missed it. I said, "What are you going to drop on it?" You're supposed to say a deuce. I'm a child.
No. Yeah.
No, 5.5, 6 is honestly lower than I thought you were going to say.
Really?
Yeah. I give The Howling a 7.5.
Yeah, I mean 7.5 is a high rating.
I also really like the movie.
Yeah. But
I give it a 7.5 as my enjoyable rating. I don't objectively, I don't know or care what I think about it. I liked it. Let's think. I'm trying to think of another example. Like, you know, I talk with the guys every week and we do Shopcast and we have we rate a movie every week, and I always give shitty movies like higher grades than they do, but it's because I give it an enjoyment grade, not like I don't even look at movies objectively very often. I look at them subjectively. Did I enjoy the movie?
Right.
If I did, I like it. Like as an example, a Marvel movie. Most people really like those movies. I think they look like shit. I think that the CG is very obvious and it doesn't look that good. And when Captain America first came out and Iron Man first came out, my life was different. The movies meant more to me back then, and now I'm just kind of over the big spectacle. I don't care about the spectacle anymore. So I like a more low-budget, grounded movie. So now I don't see Marvel movies as the same thing. Like if you'd have asked me 10 years ago, as another example, when the Avengers first came out, I thought that movie was amazing, but Endgame I thought was trash. Like, you know. So if you look at it, I think Endgame's probably a better movie. Maybe, I don't know. The Avengers was a pretty great film.
Avengers is the
coming out very well.
No, dude. The Avengers was the movie that got me into superhero movies. Once I gave up on superhero movies because I grew up on X-Men and Spider-Man, and when Spider-Man 3 dropped and X-Men Apocalypse drops, I gave up. I got out, and all these other movies like Iron Man, all that stuff were coming out. I didn't even see them. And finally somebody goes, let's go see this Avengers movie. And I fucking watched it and I go, oh shit, that's a good movie. Like I'm laughing, I'm invested, that's a good movie. Where do I rank Endgame on my 23 whatever movies? It's not 1, 2, 3, or 4, or 5, I promise that.
Yeah, I don't.
I think Infinity War is twice the film that Endgame is.
I think Captain Marvel might be my least favorite one, and then Thor 2 is probably right after that. But
But Ragnarok is fucking amazing.
Yes, it is. Well, Iron Man 1 is probably my favorite one.
Yeah, it's. I have to revisit it, but I mean, once I went back and watched it.
Once you realize what it did for cinema, like it's honestly it's kind of a perfect movie.
I agree.
Like just shockingly so. It's Iron Man. How is Iron Man a perfect? But it is.
Don't know how they picked that one. I don't know how that ended up being the 10-pole, but they did.
Dude, there's a story behind that. It's because of the ones they wanted all had the rights to other people, so they had to pick something. So they wanted to pick a team, and they picked the Avengers. And they were like, well, let's not start with a team movie. Let's start with a single movie, and they based it on Robert Downey Jr.
Yeah.
They're like, we want him to. If he'll play it, we'll do it with him, and we'll see what happens. And then when they got Chris Evans to play Cap, it really did kind of just make it like you can't fail. Like those are the most perfect castings I've ever seen in a movie.
Yeah, and then Hemsworth, you know, obviously the first two were like, but then he came into his own during Ragnarok, and you were like, okay, this makes a lot of sense.
The whole casting of that whole thing I think was pretty perfect. But anyways, The Howling was a good movie. It's definitely could be better, but I think it was a lot of fun, and it's worth revisiting at a later date. Very strange talk. Sorry, folks, if you didn't enjoy it, but that's how we do things over here.
Sorry, man. I hope I'm not dragging. I hope you're not losing subscribers now because of me.
I think it's my fault, bro. I don't know what you're talking about. But I think we're about to have a whole lot more fun here in a few minutes. So thank you for your time, everybody. We'll see you soon. Don't forget, like, subscribe, comment on the videos. We have merch, Patreon, social media, all that jazz in the description if you care. If you don't care, cool, come on back, watch the videos, because that's what we're doing it for. We like to do this stuff. We have fun doing it, and that is why we do it. I wouldn't do it for any other reason. But thank you very much. We'll see you later. Peace.
See you.